Check, check. Ten. 5. It's time for Brownsburg varsity basketball on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com. Tonight's game is brought to you by Nelson Jewelers, Ivy Tech, West Side Plumbing, the Payroll Department, State Farm Agent Pete Fay, and Internet Tech Specialist. Brownsburg Bulldogs basketball on 1610 AM XRB is an AudioSportsOnline.com production. Now let's go courtside for tonight's game. It's been since 2004 that the Brownsburg Bulldogs have laid claim to a Hoosier Crossroads Conference championship. They came close last year, finishing with only 3 losses on the season, but one of those came at the hands of Hamilton Southeastern. That cost the Bulldogs an HCC crown. You can even go back to that magical season when the Bulldogs won the state title. They lost the HCC conference that year by 1 game to Lafayette Jefferson. Tonight, they'll search for another chance for a Hoosier Crossroads Conference title, albeit this time with only 7 teams in the conference. That means every conference game is going to be that important. And what better way to start it off against your longtime rival, the Avon Orioles. That's where we are tonight. We are at the O Arena at Avon High School as the Brownsburg Bulldogs, ranked 8th in Class 4A and a record of 4-1 on the season, take on the 2-2 Avon Orioles tonight on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Bulldogs basketball. My name's Brian Scott. I'll be joined in just a little while by Christopher Worley. The Bulldogs 4-1 on the year. They pretty much had their way with the Lebanon Tigers last Saturday as the Bulldogs came off of a huge victory against Lebanon by the score of 62-26. They were without their starting point guard Darian Ringo. Jordash Mavunga also did not play in that game. It didn't matter much for the Bulldogs as they pretty much went on a scoring spree early, and eventually it was the defense and some pretty shoddy play by the Tigers in the second half that allowed the Bulldogs to outscore Lebanon 31-9 in the second half, and they held the Tigers to only 1 field goal from the floor in that second half. Leading scorer for the Bulldogs last Saturday, K.J. Walton. He had 17 points, but a good offensive effort by Landon Hall. He scored 15 that night. And for the Bulldogs, one of the first times we saw a little bit of balanced scoring, 7 points each coming off of the hands of Michael Folks, Tyler Kurtz, and Jimmy Sims. So the Bulldogs will come into this game already have played 4 top 20 teams in the AP Class 4A polls. But tonight, that doesn't really matter. They're going to take on the Avon Orioles. The Orioles are 2-2 on the season. They won their first two matchups before falling in their last two contests. They fell to then number one Carmel a few weeks ago, and then lost a nip-tuck game against Terre Haute South as the Orioles fell to the Braves by the score of 79-76. That game was as close as you could get. 3 points in the third quarter that were the Braves' margin of victory in that game. And for the Orioles, leading scorer was Brandon Peters with 35 points in that game. Jordan Peterson had 13. So we expect a good basketball game tonight. And when we come back, Christopher Worley will talk to the head coach of the Bulldogs, Mr. Steve Lynch, about tonight's contest. You're listening to the Bulldogs basketball pregame show on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com.
Holidays are here, and that means a lot of family at your house. And, well, that could mean some plumbing problems at the worst time. At Westside Plumbing, you'll get a plumber who is honest, respectful, and knows how to fix your problem. Call Westside Plumbing at 445-8399. That's 445-8399, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County. Happy holidays from Westside Plumbing. When you're trying to promote your website, the internet can sometimes seem like a hit-and-miss situation. There's search engine optimization, keywords, and don't forget your social media. At Internet Tech Specialists, they understand these things and can make a difference in your World Wide Web presence. Go to InternetTechSpecialists.com for more information or look for their banner on the XRB website. Internet Tech Specialists, your full-service IT strategist. You know, nothing makes you think of the future like holding it in your arms. The wonder of being a new parent includes planning your child's future, and now's the time to start looking to someone who's been there from the start. State Farm agent Pete Fay in Brownsburg can ensure your life insurance will keep pace with your family's growing financial needs. So for more information on life insurance, visit State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield Drive, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. And remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back with the Bulldogs pregame show on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com. Time to listen to Christopher Worley's interview with the head coach of the Bulldogs, Coach Steve Lynch, as Chris talks to Coach about what happened last Saturday and what he expects from tonight's game with the Orioles and tomorrow night's game with the Ben Davis Giants.
Chris Worley here at Varsity Fieldhouse with Brownsburg boys head basketball coach Steve Lynch, and his boys getting ready.
This holiday season, let Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg help you select the perfect gift. New collections have arrived just in time for Christmas. Whether her wish list includes a new pair of earrings, a sparkling pendant, bracelet, or ring, Nelson Jewelers offers unique and affordable designs in silver, 14 and 18 karat gold, and diamonds. Visit Nelson Jewelers at 22 East Main Street in Brownsburg and online at www.nelsonjewelers.com. Nelson Jewelers since 1958. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary.
Chris Worley here at Varsity Fieldhouse with Brownsburg boys head basketball coach Steve Lynch, and his boys getting ready for a big weekend of Brownsburg hoops. They got 2 road games this week, at Avon Friday night and at Ben Davis Saturday night. Coach, 5 games in now, good start. 4-1. You just had 1 game last week, of course, versus the Lebanon Tigers here. You went into that game missing a couple key players, but a great team effort, terrific defense. A lot of boys played. Got a big 62-26 win there last week.
No, the kids did a good job, and again with injuries and just other things going on, I thought our kids did a really nice job. We've really been executing pretty well. We've had some good practices, and again, I thought we continued to do that pretty well. Their leading scorer really, I think he scored a majority of their points. 13 of their 17 first half points came from him, and after just really trying to explain that he needed to be stopped, I thought our second half defense was outstanding and really limited their opportunities in the second half. But I thought our kids played well. We played with a little bit more discipline, which I was really excited to see, and I thought we scored the ball very efficiently.
You know, Coach, it's an old basketball saying. I know you know it well, that in any game you may not have your offense, you may not shoot well, you may not shoot free throws too well, but you can always play good defense. And, of course, that's kind of a trademark we've seen of your teams here. And, you know, I'm sure you agree it's a key factor to your success. Just two things on that. Number one, how do you get kids to want to play defense? And also, how do you get them to, you know, be consistent every game and doing that like you guys seem to be?
Well, I think, again, you try and communicate the message and the criteria to play, and all kids want to play. I don't know that there are too many guys that are doing this not to play. And so you really try and communicate well and establish that to play basketball at Brownsburg, you have to defend. And, you know, again, different coaches do different things. Some guys put their 5 best offensive players out there and hope to outscore the other team, and that's still winning basketball. But I think over the long haul and then change of talent year in and year out, your best chance is to be an excellent defensive program. And so that's what we are, and the kids have been great, and I think winning reinforces that. That's how we win, and the kids know that. And whether they like it or not, they're willing to do it because they want to play. And we're grateful for that. You know, there's times you hear things in coaching community that not all kids buy into that. So I think our coaching staff does a pretty good job of communicating the criteria. We teach it pretty well. And we've got pretty high energy kids. So again, when they get out there and get after it, their energy and their talents take over from a defensive standpoint.
Of course, this weekend offers a big test for your club. At Avon, the big rivalry game Friday night, and then at Ben Davis. So at Avon, like we said, that's a big rivalry game. Means a lot to the student bodies at each school and the administration. Now, Avon's just played 3 games. One of those was a win at Hamilton Southeastern. How we look going into that Friday night game against Avon, Coach?
Well, again, it's, you know, they're scoring the basketball at a high rate, and have several very good players or shooters, and Brandon Peters is just playing awesome, scoring about 23 points a game, and he's going to get a ton of touches. And you know, they've played really well on the offensive side of the basketball, and to go in and win at HSC and play Carmel tough, and just lost a shootout with Terre Haute South like 76-73. So all their games have been highly competitive, and you know, just a possession here or there, and their record would be a lot different. So a very good team, and I know Coach Young's got them going in the right direction. So again, you know, with finals and everything else, and guys got to make sure we're ready to go tomorrow night. And then Saturday with Ben Davis, just an outstanding team that's looked great, and you know, is a last-second shot away from being undefeated.
Yeah, just going to ask you a little bit about Ben Davis. Right, they were in that Southport, you know, that tip-off classic, and they had to play Southport. They got to win over Pike. So again, we always expect a good athletic team from Ben Davis, and I think fans on the west side, we like to see that Ben Davis-Brownsburg matchup again.
Well, again, Coach James does a great job, and they look awesome in person. They look good on tape, and so again, we'll have our hands full. But you know, I know our kids are excited about it and looking forward to going into break and having 2 highly competitive games. And again, our schedule's such that it's going to really give us a great chance to see where we're at and what we're doing well. And if we're not doing things right, then we're going to see what we're not doing well. And so, again, it's a chance to get better, a chance to go out and see where we're at, and then obviously something to learn from as we get ready for the Hall of Fame tournament.
Yeah, that fans don't forget that Brownsburg Bulldogs will be in action over the holidays, December 27th at that big Newcastle gym, the Hall of Fame Classic. Coach, that's an honor to play in that. I'm sure you guys are looking forward to doing that.
No, it's one of the greatest in-season tournaments that the state has to offer, and again, they do a great job. The Hall of Fame again promotes it. It's televised. It's again, you're looking at some of the best teams in the state that have the opportunity to play there, and again, it's in a field house that seats 9,000 people, and there's going to be between 6,000 and 8,000 people there on Saturday morning, and then the championship game, depending on how many teams or how many people come back or are willing to stay. Again, another 4,000 to 6,000 people. So it's a great atmosphere for our team to be a part of, and we're just grateful to the Hall of Fame for opportunity, and look forward to the battles against Penn and whoever we might see in the second game.
Well, Coach, we know you got a busy schedule of holidays. We do want to wish your staff and the boys a good holiday and good success this weekend. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks a lot.
That's head coach of the Bulldogs, Steve Lynch. When we come back, we are moments away from tip-off here. We'll have the starting lineups, and Christopher Worley joins me for the call here. This is Bulldogs basketball on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com.
What is a good neighbor? Well, it's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier, and that's State Farm agent Pete Fay. He takes the time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whatever you're preparing for your child's college education or planning for your retirement, get the kind of help you would expect from a good neighbor. Visit State Farm Agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield Drive, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. And remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. This holiday season, let Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg help you select the perfect gift. New collections have arrived just in time for Christmas. Whether our wish list includes a new pair of earrings, a sparkling pendant, bracelet, or ring, Nelson Jewelers offers unique and affordable designs in silver, 14 and 18 karat gold, and diamonds. Visit Nelson Jewelers at 22 East Main Street in Brownsburg and online at www.nelsonjewelers.com. Nelson Jewelers since 1958. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary. When you're trying to promote your website, the internet can sometimes seem like a hit-and-miss situation. There's search engine optimization, keywords, and don't forget your social media. At Internet Tech Specialists, they understand these things and can make a difference in your worldwide web presence. Go to InternetTechSpecialists.com for more information or look for their banner on the XRB website. Internet Tech Specialists, your full-service IT strategist.
Welcome back to the Arena at Avon High School. Tis tonight, the 8th-ranked in Class 4A Brownsburg Bulldogs play their first Hoosier Crossroads Conference matchup of the season as they take on the 2-2 Avon Orioles. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Bulldogs basketball on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com. My name is Brian Scott. I am joined by Christopher Worley as the Bulldogs have made it out to the court as they finish up their pregame warm-ups. Let's tell you a little bit about tonight's game. This game is going to match up two of the bigger names and bigger stars in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. Of course, as Bulldog fans, everybody very well aware of K.J. Walton. He's averaging a little over 25 points per game, almost 8 rebounds per game. And tonight we're going to see the return of starting point guard Darian Ringo. Darian has been out for the last few games with a high ankle sprain he suffered in that Southport game. And, Chris, you got to see Darian a little bit during practice this week and didn't look too bad.
Right, moving, taking some shots. Of course, he's a little rusty, but I was kind of surprised to see him back so soon. But the athletic staff, they're very careful about that. They've checked him over. May not be 100% for a couple weeks, but he's out warming up right now, and he's going to give it a go tonight.
Well, and this game is pretty much going to be, as the old saying, let the big dogs eat. You're going to have K.J. Walton for the Brownsburg Bulldogs. And for the Avon Orioles, they have a player that, well, for Bulldogs fans, they know all too well. Might be, though, in a different sport. Brandon Peters is the star quarterback for the Avon Oriole football team. He already has Division I offers on the table for football. But Mr. Peters is also a very good basketball player. In fact, he leads this Oriole team in points, averaging almost 23 points per game and close to 6 rebounds per game. And much in the same way that K.J. Walton, the offense will revolve around him. And Coach Steve Lynch hopes to get a little bit more balanced scoring from the rest of the team. So does Coach Jason Young of the Avon Orioles. While Brandon Peters has been their most prolific scorer, he is still looking for a little bit more balanced offense, though in comparison maybe to the Bulldogs, one thing the Orioles do, they do shoot the ball fairly well. Jack McHugh, he is averaging almost 10 points a game. Logan White is averaging almost 9 points and 7 boards per game. This is a team that is shooting, averaging over 61 points per game coming into tonight's contest. They do give up about 63, whereas the Bulldogs come in, they're only averaging 58 points per game, but they're only giving up 51 points per game, and that game against Lebanon last week really helped those stats out quite a bit, Chris.
No doubt about it. KJ's been great, been fantastic, but as you said, Brandon Peters, just a fantastic athlete. I remember Coach Bless with Avon telling us he's one of the best athletes he's ever coached, and he's certainly proven that. So this is already an exciting atmosphere. The JV game went into overtime. Avon won that 60-58 on a buzzer beater, and this is a very exciting atmosphere here. Both football coaches are here. I see Coach Bless, Coach Comer's here. Of course, both athletic directors, A.D. Holsinger for Avon, Kelly Wagner here for Brownsburg. So this is already an exciting atmosphere. This is a big one, Brian.
This will be a big basketball game, and for reasons that Chris and I will talk a little bit more at halftime, especially now with the reconfigured Hoosier Crossroads Conference. We come back, have the starting lineups and the tip-offs right after this. This is Bulldogs basketball on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com.
If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated will take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech.
Holidays are here, and that means a lot of family at your house, and well, that could mean some plumbing problems at the worst time. At Westside Plumbing, you'll get a plumber who is honest, respectful, and knows how to fix your problem. Call Westside Plumbing at 445-8399. That's 445-8399, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County. Happy holidays from Westside Plumbing. When you're trying to promote your website, the internet can sometimes seem like a hit-and-miss situation. There's search engine optimization, keywords, and don't forget your social media. At Internet Tech Specialists, they understand these things and can make a difference in your World Wide Web presence. Go to InternetTechSpecialist.com for more information or look for their banner on the XRB website. Internet Tech Specialist, your full-service IT strategist.
That is our national anthem by the Avon Pep Band in attendance tonight. A good crowd here at the Arena at Avon High School as we renew this already legendary rivalry between the Brownsburg Bulldogs and the Avon Orioles. My name is Brian Scott. I'm joined by Christopher Worley. Let's give you the particulars for tonight's game. The visiting Brownsburg Bulldogs are ranked 8th in Class 4A. They have a record of 4-1. The head coach is Steve Lynch, 25-4 in his second year at the helm of the Bulldogs. And his starting lineup will look like this tonight. Returning to the lineup at starting point guard is a 6'2 senior, Darian Ringo. At the other guard, a 6'2 junior, Tyler Kurtz. The third guard, he's a 6'3 senior and the Bulldogs' leading scorer, K.J. Walton. At 1 forward is a 6'3 sophomore, Landon Hall. And Dalton Vachon will get the start down low. He is a 6'8 senior. So once again, the backcourt for the Bulldogs will have Ringo, Kurtz, and Walton. And the front court is Hall and Vachon. The head coach of the Avon Orioles in his 11th year is Jason Young. He has a record of 109 and 102. His starting lineup will look like this, and he will start basically a 4-guard look. Starting at a guard is a 5'10 junior, Jack McHugh. At the other guard is a 5'11 junior, Jordan Peterson. The third guard is a 5'11 senior, Braden Luce. The fourth guard, more of a swingman, a 6'5 junior, is Brandon Peters. And in the middle is a 6'4 senior, Logan White. So the backcourt, in a sense, for Coach Young will be McHugh, Peterson, and Luce. The front court, Peters and White. Such a starting lineup for tonight's game. The Bulldogs, as I mentioned, they are ranked 8th this week, dropping 2 spots after that Lebanon game to 8th. And they'll have a big matchup tomorrow night, I should say, against the 9th-ranked Ben Davis Giants. That game will also be on the road. So a couple of road matchups for head coach Steve Lynch and the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are in their traveling black uniforms tonight with the purple numerals and the white trim. The Avon Orioles are in their home whites with the black numerals and gold trim. So we're about ready for basketball here at the arena. Both student sections are well in attendance tonight If you can see on the camera, if you're watching via Audio Sports Online or xrvradio.com, the Brownsburg Student Center, right now their backs turn as the Orioles are being introduced. But two big student sections, always a big time, fun time here, whether the game's at Avon or at Brownsburg.
It really is. And these student sections are always wound up for this game. There's a little bit of a Twitter war going back and forth between all them this week, so they built it up all week. Part of the Avon student section I saw includes their fine, great running back, Mr. Derek Tennant's here also for Avon. So this is big, Brian. These kids really like this rivalry. Last time Brownsburg was on this floor, they won a sectional championship just last year.
It'll be interesting to see if the Bulldogs can take a bit advantage of a bit of a size differential. They'll start Dalton Vachon at 6'8". He's going to jump centers against 6'5". Brandon Peters. Peters is by far the tallest player for the Avon Orioles, while Brownsburg can counter with the 6'8" Dalton Vachon. It'll be Vachon and Peters jumping center. Sit back. Hope you enjoy tonight's game. The ball's in the air, and the tip will be controlled by Avon. They'll move left to right, as bringing the basketball up will be Braden Luce. Luce will get a high ball screen, come to the right side as the Orioles will look at a Bulldog man-to-man. Peters drives in the lane, lays it up with the right hand. Shot no good. Landon Hall comes down with a rebound, and as he does, we have the first whistle of the contest against Avon.
Brian, at least to start there, Brownsburg, you wondered about that matchup. Who's going to match up on Brandon Peters? It was sophomore Brandon Hall that did not have KJ on Mr. Peters.
So Landon Hall's going to get the task initially to go one-on-one with the Orioles leading scorer, and the Bulldogs have their first offensive possession. They'll look over a 2-3 Oriole zone. Here is Vachon in the corner as the Bulldogs will move it around. Just underway here at the O-Arena. First Hoosier Crossroads Conference matchup of the season. Tyler Kurtz with a basketball up top to Darian Ringo. They'll move the ball around. Ringo has not played in about 2 weeks. We'll see how his ankle holds up. It was a high ankle sprain at Southport. Here's Tyler Kurtz, 3-ball left wing on its way and good.
Big shot for Tyler Kurtz. He has not shot the ball well this year. He gets his first shot to fall cleanly through the hoop for a Brownsburg 3-0 lead.
And Kurtz with the 3-ball, and perimeter shooting has not been a strength. Here's Peters. He gets Landon Hall falling down, and Peters hits a three-pointer over him to tie the game.
Already in this big battle, they trade big outside blows.
3 balls from both teams. Peters shoots the 3-ball at about 45%. Here's Vachon near corner, just inside the 3-point arc, and Dalton Vachon's on the scoreboard.
That's a good shot for Dalton. He doesn't hit a lot of those, and he made his first shot.
5-3 in favor of Brownsburg. Is a skip pass into the corner. 3-ball from the corner is long by Braden Luce, and the Bulldogs are running, and going the other way is KJ Walton. His shot's no good, but tipped back up and in.
Yeah, I think Hall got the tip in there. Hall.
Landon Hall gets his first bucket, and the Bulldogs stretch their lead to 7-3 with 6:06 left to go in this first quarter. Bulldogs will stay in the man-to-man. Here's Peters. He makes a move. He's going to be fouled, and Landon Hall's going to pick up his first foul. First team foul against the Bulldogs, and the Orioles will take it out of bounds.
Yeah,
from the baseline.
There's that matchup we talked about. Hall's guarding Peters, and Peters just a little bit too quick for Hall right there. Hall did not play varsity basketball last year, so this is his first look at Brandon Peters on the court.
Jordan Peterson gets it to Jack McHugh, and then from the top of the key is Logan White. His shot's no good. Kurtz with the rebound for the Bulldogs. They lead by 4 with 5:45 left to go opening quarter. Here's Ringo, top of the key, between the circles, moves right side, gets it back to Kurtz, back to Ringo, over to Landon Hall left wing. Back over to Ringo as the Bulldogs move the basketball around the perimeter.
I got to tell you, Brian, it sure is nice for the Brownsburg fans to see Darian Ringo, their star point guard, back on the court this week. They did go undefeated without him, but we need him back.
They get the play from the sideline as they move it around. Here's Kurtz for 3. That one's off the rim. Rebounded by Peters of the Orioles, and he'll give the ball over to Braden Luce, who'll bring it up the court. 7-3 remains our score here at the O-Arena as we approach the 5-minute mark left to go first quarter. Here's Brandon Peters, long-range 3, short off the front of the rim. Walton with a rebound. He'll kick it out to Ringo. Ringo finds Landon Hall. Hall tries to lay it up. Peters gets back quickly, but he's forced to commit the foul, and that will send Landon Hall to the free throw line.
That's one of the things Darian Ringo can do so well. He's always got his head up when dribbling, looking down the court for the outlet pass. Landon Hall, I'm sorry, Brian, 10 out of 10 from the free throw line. We
We're not going to even mention announcer Jinx, but he is perfect from the line so far this year, 10 out of 10.
He has a field goal, and his first free throw is good. Bulldogs as a team shooting about 70% from the field. Hall gets the first. He has one more on the way. And he sinks them both. He has 4 points, and he will leave. And Jordash Mavunga, who was not available for the Lebanon game, he now makes his return to the court as he spells Landon Hall.
Brownsburg fans used to seeing Mavunga come off the bench. Now, he has started the games that he has played so far, but he's a valuable 6-man off the bench, proved it last year.
And they immediately put Mavunga on Peters. Mavunga has some strength. He can probably match up with Peters the best on the court, as the Bulldogs will stay in a bit of a zone. They'll stay man-to-man, the Bulldogs lead by 6 with 4:30 left to go in the quarter.
Now, K.J. Walton is guarding Jordan Peterson, their third leading scorer.
Here's a drive right side to the cup by Logan White, and the foul's going to be against the Bulldogs' Dalton Vachon, his first team foul number 2 against Brownsburg.
You know, I like Logan White for Avon. He's a tough, valuable player for them, averaging 8.8 points a game. Number 32, White, there he is.
Peterson finds White cutting to the goal. Dalton Vachon just kind of lost track of where Logan White was. A nice inbounds play. And the Bulldogs' lead has been trimmed to 4 at 9-5. 4:11 left to go in the first quarter. Orioles are going to stay in this zone. They're going to try to see if the Bulldogs can beat them from outside. Here's Darian Ringo's 3 from the left wing. A little short. Mavunga's putback is no good. Logan White gets the rebound, and Dalton Vachon is going to pick up a really silly foul. That would be his second. White clearly had the rebound. Vachon tried to come over the top and poke it away, and Dalton's going to pick up his second foul. That's going to bring Landon Hall back off the bench as Dalton will have to sit with the bucket and 2 fouls.
In this lineup right now for Brownsburg without Dalton, this is their starting lineup they used the first few games, so they should be used to playing like this.
Orioles will get it into the front court as they get the ball into Brandon Peters' hands. Long-range 3 on the way. That's strong off the back of the iron. Rebounded by White. White's turnaround jumper's no good. But there's Peters to rip the ball out of the hands of Landon Hall. Step back 3, no good. Follow-up by Jordan Peterson is up and good. And Steve Lynch is not going to like that one bit. And he calls a quick timeout with 3 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in the first quarter as the Orioles have cut the deficit to 2 at 9-7.
Boy, Brandon Peters coming out here firing away from three-point range. Coming into this game, he was a 45% three-point shooter, 10 out of 22, but he is letting them rip from long range tonight.
Well, the one thing that I'm sure Coach Lynch was very unhappy about was the Orioles' ability to get to the offensive glass.
Yeah.
That was something the Orioles there between Logan White and Brandon Peters did an excellent job to get second chances, and finally they capitalized on it, and immediately Coach Lynch calls the timeout. Make sure his boys block out, especially there on the offensive glass. Bulldogs have the basketball. They lead 9-7.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, Brian. That's what that was all about.
Ringo.
Rebounding is hard work. You got to be willing to put the work in.
Ringo with the basketball gets it to Kurtz, over to Hall near corner. Again, looking over this zone by the Orioles. They have stayed in the zone pretty much this entire game.
I see Michael Folks over there ready to check in. That's one thing good that they experienced when Darren Ringo was out. Michael Folks, the backup point guard, got some valuable time.
Here is Kurtz, top of the key. He gives it to Ringo. Ringo to Hall. 3 ball from the near corner. That's off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Braden Luce. Luce for the Orioles is harassed, but gets it across the timeline and into the front court to Logan White. White bounced past to Luce, but Luce loses it off of his foot. He wanted to claim it went off of a Bulldog, but the official says otherwise. And Michael Folks will come in, but not for Darian Ringo. He will give Tyler Kurtz a spell. Now enter the game for the Orioles is Andrew Short. He's going to take over for Braden Luce.
Yeah, they're going to let Folks be the point guard. Now I think Ringo, they can use a 3-guard lineup, so Ringo will shift out to one of the wing positions. That was good hands there by K.J. Walton, made that deflection that got the turnover.
It is Folks that brings it into the front court. He has the ball between the circles. Left side now on the wing to Landon Hall. Hall will give the ball to Folks. Right side to Ringo at the wing. Looks it down low to Walton. Nice bounce pass. He had a man cutting the basket, gets the ball back, drives, pump fake, but picked up it was Jordash Mavunga. Mavunga dragged the pivot foot on his way to the basket, tried to use a ball fake, but it's called for steps. And the Orioles will have the basketball, and they can tie it with a 2 or take the lead with a 3 with 2:17 left to go opening quarter. Getting it across is Andrew Short.
Steve.
Now the ball's stolen. Mavunga finds Walton. Walton will take it in and flush it with 2 hands. K.J. Walton is now into the scoring column with his first 2 points, and with 2 minutes left, Bulldogs lead 11-7. Here's Logan White, top of the key, left side. 3 ball on the way. Short is no good, and as K.J. Walton goes up for the rebound, he's going to be fouled, and foul will be against Avon.
Steal on defense led to that run out for KJ in the slam. Of course, that's one of Brownsburg's specialties with that high pressure defense. They like to get those steals. And Ringo and Walton and the crew run out to the other end to get an easy bucket. Logan
White will be credited with a foul. Into the lineup, Hayden Crowder now in. He takes over for Jack McHugh. Bulldogs with a 4-point lead, minute 47 left to go in the first quarter. Here's KJ, gets a ball screen. 3 ball from the wing is up and good. KJ gets around a nice screen and hits the 3-point basket. And the Bulldogs now lead by 7. Almost thrown away, but getting the basketball was Andrew Short. Now the double team comes, and quickly Jason Young, seeing that his point guard was in trouble as both Darian Ringo and KJ Walton came over for the double team. He calls a quick timeout. Both teams using early 30-second timeouts here in this first quarter. With a minute 28 left, Bulldogs lead 14-7.
Good shot there by KJ. Came into this game just 8 out of 25 from three-point range for 32%. So always important for him to hit an early one. Helps his confidence get that percentage up just a little bit.
Bulldogs last week against the Tigers managed to hit some early three-point baskets, and that really allowed them to get out to an early lead and really never look back from there. The Orioles, as we've seen from Brandon Peters, they have the ability to hit that three-point basket. But ever since Coach Lynch has brought in Jordash Mavunga, Mavunga has been shadowing the Orioles' star player. After the timeout, the Orioles have the basketball into the front court. Double team comes, and here's a steal.
Boy, Ringo set that up and steal back.
Now a steal the other way, as getting the steal was Hayden Crowder, as Michael Folks didn't really pay attention to who was behind him. Crowder got the easy steal, and now we'll have a foul as Andrew Short will be fouled. It'll be the 4th team foul against the Bulldogs. Darian Ringo will pick up foul number 1.
And out of all Darian's assets that he brings to the team, maybe defensive disruption is the tops. He is a real disruptor out there on defense for the Brownsburg Bulldogs.
Here's Peters, top of the key, right side. They give the ball up to Short. Short, they move it around. As Crowder has the basketball, and now we'll have another foul called against Brownsburg. That'll be team foul number 5, as they will give the foul to Landon Hall. Now he has 2, and he's going to go take a seat as Tyler Kurtz is going to come in. So both Hall and Vashon are on the bench, and this is going to bring a smaller lineup to the court for the Bulldogs. Triggering the inbounds is Crowder. Gets the ball back from White. Peters gets it as Bulldogs try for a steal. Peters takes it to the cup, leaves it on the rim, and the Bulldogs come away with it. 2-on-1, nice bounce pass, nowhere to go, and they're going to call Tyler Kurtz for traveling. Tyler wanted to pull that ball back and let his offense come to him, but ended up picking it up and called for the steps. And the Orioles will have the basketball, trailing by 7 with 44 seconds left.
I have 3 turnovers now for both squads here in this opening quarter.
38 seconds as the Orioles get it into the front court. They'll move it around. 3 ball from the corner is up and good. Hayden Crowder hits the 3, and it's a 4-point Bulldog lead with 27 seconds remaining. Bulldogs have been trapping these past few possessions by Avon, but Avon did a good job to move the ball into the corner and get the 3.
Nice shot by Crowder. He scores a little bit for them, averaging just over 5 points a game.
Bulldogs holding for the final shot. We're down to 12 seconds left. Folks with the ball at the center jump circle, left side to Walton, now to Kurtz, back to Folks. 5 seconds remaining. Turnaround jumper by Mavunga from the left elbow is no good. Peters with a rebound. 3-quarter shot is long and will be just short of the rim, and that's the end of the first quarter. Bulldogs will take a 4-point lead to the second quarter. As we come back, Bulldogs 14, Orioles 10. This is Bulldogs basketball on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com.
If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech. Bulldogs have the basketball to begin the second quarter. They lead 14-10. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. Bulldogs had 4 players score in that first quarter. They were led by K.J. Walton's 5 points, Landon Hall with 4. As going up was K.J. Walton, gives it to Mavunga in the low post. Mavunga with the ball fake, leaves it long, and a rebound by Logan White of Avon. Avon had Hayden Crowder and Brandon Peters both with 3 points to lead the Orioles. Both of them hit from long range. And there's a turnover as looking to get the ball in the corner to Brandon Peters, and in the end, Andrew Short just threw it away, and he's going to make a trip to the bench as returning the lineup will be Braden Luce for Coach Jason Young's Orioles.
Brownsburg fans, Darian Ringo appears to be moving fine. I don't see any kind of limitations or problem moving those feet and that ankle for Darian Ringo yet.
But they are leaving Michael Folks at the point, and they're moving Darian over to the small guard or shooting guard position. This is Ringo with the ball. Left side finds Kurtz, back to Darian. Mavunga working the free throw line. Here's KJ for 3 from the right wing. Shot no good. White with the rebound for the Orioles. He'll give it to Luce. Luce ahead to Peters. Peters lets Mavunga fall, and now this one is stolen away. Here's Tyler Kurtz. Behind the backs, find KJ Walton. Walton finishes it off.
5 turnovers now for Avon. That led to another Brownsburg fast break. Good job by Tyler Kurtz handling the ball, getting an assist to Ringo.
Walton with 7 points. The lead's up to 6 for the Bulldogs, 16-10. As the Bulldogs now will go to a zone. More of a 1-3-1 look, and the ball will go off of Darian Ringo out of bounds, and the Orioles retain possession as getting ready to put the ball in play will be Hayden Crowder right in front of the scoring table.
Rebounding battle even both sides right now at 8 apiece.
Crowder with the basketball. He's picked up by Ringo, and it's been obvious the Bulldogs have had some success with a trap. Loose over to the corner. Crowder just inside the arc. No good. Shot rebounded by Mavunga. He will give it up to Walton. Walton will come up the near side. He's met by Luce, and will give up to Folks between the circle. Right side to Ringo on the wing. Back to Folks. Orioles have stayed in the zone this entire game. Here's Mavunga from the near corner. Just inside the arc, skip pass to Ringo. Ringo with a nice move, gives it to Mavunga. Mavunga drives baseline out to Folks. Folks should have took the shot. Instead dribbled, and now they'll reset the offense. Folks will now kick it over to Darian Ringo. Now Ringo will set the offense up near the center jump circle. Right side to Kurtz, back to Ringo, over to Kurtz. They will move the basketball around as the Orioles stay in that zone.
Good patience on offense here by the Dogs.
Here's Folks, goes right side to Darian Ringo. As the Bulldogs just simply content to move the ball around, try to get somebody open in that zone. We're down to 5:07 left to go in the first half, and the Bulldogs very content to be patient with this basketball and a 6-point lead.
Well, they sure are. Avon going to stay in that zone. I don't know if the Dogs want to force Avon out of that zone, but they're not breaking it yet.
Here's K.J. Walton. He gets a screen. Pop-up jumper is no good, but getting the rebound, Darian Ringo. And if Ringo has any problems with that ankle, he is showing good explosiveness so far in this game. Bulldogs get another opportunity off of the offensive rebound. Now here's KJ driving between two players, and he'll lay it up with a right hand.
Strength and athleticism there for KJ Walton. Forced his way inside, got an easy basket at the hoop.
So a long possession yields a 2 points by KJ, and the Bulldogs up with their largest lead of the game at 18-10.
Brownsburg looking to trap again.
Bulldogs have been very successful with this trap, forcing a few steals and a few unforced errors by the Orioles. They'll move it over to Crowder at the left side, down in the corner with the basketball, giving it up. As going in the lane and getting the bucket is Logan White from Jack McHugh. White with his second bucket, he has 4 points. 18-12 is the Bulldogs' advantage with 3:56 left to go in the first half.
Good power move by Logan White there. If Avon has a power forward, you just look at Logan White for the answer there.
As KJ Walton makes a move, he was trying to pass it to Ringo, but a whistle and a foul will stop play, as foul is going to be called against Braden Luce of the Orioles. That's his first, team foul number 4. Peters will leave, as entering the lineup is Ryan Dickinson. If you look up and down this Orioles lineup, you will see quite a few football players. Dickinson, one of them, as he comes in to fill up the middle.
And he looks like a football player, Brian.
Well, he was an offensive lineman, so
no doubt
he can fill up some lane space, and he's doing a good job of that. Bulldogs have the basketball up by 6 with 3:35 left to go in the first half.
Jimmy Sims did check in for Brownsburg. Jimmy Sims providing some valuable minutes. Scored 7 points his last game out.
Walton left side gives it to Folks. Folks to Mavunga. Sims now at the top of the key. He waits for the basketball, receives it, goes right side. As Kurtz has the basketball, it is Ringo that is out. As Sims came in for Darien. Here's Mavunga, bounce pass to Kurtz. Outside to Walton, as Walton tries to make a nice crossover move. He's going to be called for steps.
Brownsburg's 4th turnover. Very patient against the zone again. The second quarter showing a lot of patience by Brownsburg, but the turnover that time.
So the Bulldogs commit the turnover as KJ was trying to make a nice crossover move into the lane, but they call him for steps, and the Orioles will have the basketball, trailing by 6 at the 3-minute mark left to go first half. White right side to Luce, gives the ball to Dickinson. Double team comes back to White. Nice spin move, lays it up too short with the left hand. Dickinson with a rebound. He'll kick it back out. Here is Logan White with the basketball. Double team comes. 3-ball on the way is up and good by Jack McHugh. McHugh gets his first bucket. It's a long-range 3. It's a 1-possession game, 18-15 in favor of the Bulldogs with 2:32 left to go first half.
Jack McHugh, his 5th three-pointer of the year. He was shooting 50% from the three-point range coming in.
Orioles have been relying on that three-point basket here. They've cut the deficit to a 3-point lead for Brownsburg, as running the offense is Michael Folks. Gives it to Sims, back to Folks, to KJ at the free throw line. He is immediately triple teamed and has to kick the ball back out. Kurtz gives it to Sims. And the steal now is bad pass. Orioles come the other way. Pull-up jumper is long by Braden Luce, and here come the Orioles. Driving, getting it to KJ. KJ with the bucket and the foul on the two-hand flush off the feed from Jordash Mavunga.
What an athlete, KJ. Boy, he got strong up to the rim there. Nobody was going to stop him. And we've seen that so far this year, Brian, is the other teams that they have played so far, they have a tough time matching up athletically with KJ Walton. Of course, he has not signed yet a college offer sheet, but a lot of coaches looking at him. We've seen this throughout the year so far, visiting coaches in the gyms to see KJ Walton and the others, of course, but KJ will make his decision in the spring.
KJ's free throw, that's long, and it's Brandon Peters that gets the rebound. He came in for Logan White, and it's a 20-15 Bulldogs lead as the Orioles throw it up to Ryan Dickinson in the front court. Crowder drives baseline, puts a shot up, went long, rebounded by Mavunga. Gets it out to Walton. Walton goes one-on-one, drives, and they'll wave off the shot. They'll call KJ for steps. KJ looking for the foul, but might have shuffled those feet just a little bit before he made his move to the basket. Turnover will give the ball back to the Orioles, trailing by 5 with 1:31 left to go in this first half. KJ has scored all 6 of the Bulldogs' points here in this second quarter. Low-scoring game so far. It was 14-10 after the first quarter, and with 1:22 left in the half, it's 20-15. 3-ball by McHugh is no good. Bulldogs coming the other way. Pull-up jumper from the left of the elbow is up and good by K.J. Walton.
K.J. wanted to get back for that turnover there, and he got it.
13 points for K.J. Walton. 1:06 left in this first half. McHugh gives it to Crowder, back to McHugh. Orioles double team in the corner, a bad place, but McHugh gets it out, but not before the Bulldogs steal it. KJ on the run out, and KJ flushes it with two hands. 15 points for KJ Walton. Biggest lead of the Bulldogs tonight at 9 at 24-15 with 44 seconds left to go in the half.
See if Avon tries to hold here, maybe get a bucket. They got Brandon Peters looking for a shot in the three-point land.
Dickinson gets it over to McHugh. McHugh drives baseline, shot no good, but a whistle and a foul called against the Bulldogs. It'll be their 6th team foul with 33.7 seconds remaining in the half.
I like that decision there by the junior Jack McHugh. Instead of taking that outside shot, drove to the basket. And if he didn't hit the shot, he'd get a foul, or hoping to, and that's exactly what happened there. He'll be at the line for the Avon Orioles.
Tyler Kurtz with his first foul. First free throw attempts for the Orioles tonight as Jack McHugh hits the first of two. Substitutions as Logan White comes in for the Orioles. Also Jordan Peterson as Dickinson and Braden Luce check out.
Jack came in shooting 83% from the line. He had just 6 attempts, so right now he is 6 out of 7. Orioles 70% as a team from the foul line.
Second free throw is good. McHugh now with 5 points, a 7-point Bulldog lead with 33.7 as the Orioles go to a 2-2-1 press. Off of the made basket, Bulldogs will get it into the front court as they find K.J. Walton with 25 seconds, and K.J. will retreat back to the center jump circle to set up the offense.
Of course, they're going to try and hold that ball for one shot here, Brian.
Orioles back into the 2-3 zone. They came out of the 2-2-1 press, and once the Bulldogs got it into the front court, they immediately dropped into the zone. 8 seconds remaining. KJ down the middle, gives it off. Here's a 3-ball from the wing, no good by Michael Folks. Rebounded by Mavunga, his putback no good. He gets another chance, doesn't get a whistle or a foul, but we do hear a buzzer. That means it is the end of the first half of play. A low-scoring affair, but for the Bulldogs, they lead by 7 heading into the locker room. It's Brownsburg 24, Avon 17. Back with our halftime show here on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com, your home for the Brownsburg Bulldogs.
What is a good neighbor? Well, it's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier, and that's State Farm agent Pete Fay. He takes the time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whatever you're preparing for your child's college education or planning for your retirement, get the kind of help you would expect from a good neighbor. Visit State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield Drive, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. And remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. This holiday season, let Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg help you select the perfect gift. New collections have arrived just in time for Christmas. Whether her wish list includes a new pair of earrings, a sparkling pendant, bracelet, or ring, Nelson Jewelers offers unique and affordable designs in silver, 14 and 18 karat gold, and diamonds. Visit Nelson Jewelers at 22 East Main Street in Brownsburg and online at www.nelsonjewelers.com. Nelson Jewelers since 1958. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary. Holidays are here, and that means a lot of family at your house, and well, that could mean some plumbing problems at the worst time. At Westside Plumbing, you'll get a plumber who is honest, respectful, and knows how to fix your problem. Call Westside Plumbing at 445-8399. That's 445-8399, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County. Happy holidays from Westside Plumbing. When you're trying to promote your website, the internet can sometimes seem like a hit-and-miss situation. There's search engine optimization, keywords, and don't forget your social media. At Internet Tech Specialists, they understand these things and can make a difference in your World Wide Web presence. Go to InternetTechSpecialists.com for more information or look for their banner on the XRB website. Internet Tech Specialists, your full-service IT strategist.
Back at the arena at Avon High School alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. Bulldogs have a 24-17 lead over the Avon Orioles. It is the first Hoosier Crossroads Conference game for the Avon Orioles. They were the last team to play a conference game. Once again, with the reconfigured Hoosier Crossroads Conference, only 7 teams in conference. That means on any given night, at least one team will always be playing a non-conference game. Everybody else, they've played at least one tonight. It's the Bulldogs to get their first conference game of the year. Let's take a look at the Hoosier Crossroads Conference standings heading into tonight. 3 teams with 1-0 records, Fishers, Zionsville, and the Avon Orioles. Fishers is 4-2 on the year, followed by Zionsville at 3-2 and Avon at 2-2. The Bulldogs have the best record of any team in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference at 4-1, but as I mentioned, this is their first HCC game. 3 teams with 0-1 records in HCC play: Noblesville, Hamilton Southeastern, and Westfield. Noblesville is 3-1 on the year. Their only loss came in HCC play, while Westfield, they are 1-4. Some might expect that. The team you don't really expect to see at the bottom of those standings are the Hamilton Southeastern Royals. They're 0-1 in HCC play, and they've only won 1 game here in this season. A very young season, albeit. They've lost their last 4 in a row. So head coach Brian Satterfield's Royals, they're hopefully are not following the way of Scott May's football team. It was a very disappointing season for the Royals in football. So far, their basketball team seems to be following suit. But this is the first game of the season in HCC play for Brownsburg. Let's take a look at what happened last Saturday. The Bulldogs defeated Lebanon 62-26. We had some exciting games involving HCC teams. Fishers had to go to overtime, and they fell to Franklin Central 75-72. It was New Palestine 92-87 over the Shamrocks. That game also went into overtime. Noblesville beat Peru 40-29. North Central defeated Hamilton Southeastern 68-51. Of course, Central was coming off that big win against Carmel. Terre Haute South nipped Avon last week 79-76. And Zionsville in a squeaker over Marion 67-65. Nothing but HCC games on the docket tonight. Brownsburg at Avon, Hamilton Southeastern's at Fishers as the rivalry week continues. Noblesville is at Westfield. So a lot of rivalry games tonight in Hoosier Crossroads Conference action. Tomorrow night, Avon will be at Bloomington North. That will be a tough game. Of course, the Bulldogs will be at number 9, Ben Davis, to take on the Giants. Hamilton Heights will be at Noblesville. Westfield is at Tipton, and Zionsville is at Anderson. And I bring in my broadcast partner, Christopher Worley. We were talking a little bit about this before the game, that with only 7 teams now in the HCC, that means you're only going to play a handful now of Hoosier Crossroads Conference games. In the past, you had had over a quarter of your schedule was filled up with the HCC. Now it's only 6 games. And as Chris was talking to Coach Lynch coming into this week, there's a lot of talk whether Darian Ringo would come back. Would he come back tonight, or would he come back tomorrow night against the 9th-ranked Ben Davis Giants? And, Chris, I think you and I talked about it. Because you play so few conference games, and when you talk to any coach before the beginning of the season, there are 2 goals: win your conference title and play for a state title. And Coach Lynch, like many other coaches, this was the more important game.
Yeah, their coaches felt that way. You know, we're going to use Darian in just one game. It's going to be the conference game, of course, against rival Avon. So I think you make a good point here, Brian, about, this is a fine conference, both football, basketball, all the other sports. And there's been some rivalries, of course. Avon, Brownsburg, Fishers, Hamilton Southeastern, and Westfield, Noblesville. I think it would be a good idea. I think maybe it ought to be considered where in basketball, at least, you play each other home and away within the conference.
It's a possibility that could be brought up. Now, there's a lot of talk, would the HCC add an 8th team? That has been bandied about here recently, especially once the 3 Tippecanoe County schools were dropped. There's always been talk that could a Pike or a Ben Davis make that move from the Metropolitan into the HCC, give it the HCC 8 teams. Could the HCC go to a schedule in most sports that would allow home and homes? Well, I think a lot of coaches in basketball and maybe a lot of the other sports might like that. It would add 3 more conference games to your schedule. In basketball, as Chris and I took a look at this, especially before tonight's game, it would mean having to drop 3 games. And if you take a look at some of what's on the Brownsburg docket, you have games against Shortridge. You probably wouldn't have played the Lebanon game. And while we looked at that schedule, it would mean losing maybe a couple of home games in that. You would be playing against some better competition. It wouldn't affect the Hoosier Crossroads, the Hendricks County Tournament, which will be taking place in a few weeks at Plainfield, and it wouldn't affect what the Bulldogs would do as such in the Hall of Fame tournament or in the Southport Shootout.
Right, and I think for Avon it'd be a simple matter too. You would lose games maybe looking at their schedule this year against Decatur Central, at 3A Danville, and against Greenfield Central. Now there's 2 home games out of that, like you said, but I mentioned to Brian that I thought you would increase your gates a little bit. You're going to bring these other conference teams in here another time for a home game that maybe weren't originally going to be there if you go home and home. And I think also it adds, would even build up some more rivalries. For the Brownsburg kids, or the school, we think, well, we play Fishers once a year in football, Fishers once a year in basketball. Is that a rival? No, not necessarily. What happens if you're playing home and home, 2 times each year? Then that rivalry could develop a little bit. So I think it's a great idea. I'd really like to see it. I don't know what it takes to get it worked out. Of course, the IHSAA, I'm sure, would be involved. But I really like that for the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, Brian. I think you have a great idea there.
Well, and of course, one of the big things would be where is this conference headed to here in the near future? If it stays a 7-team conference, then obviously you might see some changes in the schedule involving basketball and several of the other sports. However, if this conference is going to expand to 8, then that's adding maybe a few too many games, and then we'll just have to see how that plays out. As it is, it's a small token of games that you play in conference, and as both Coach Lynch for the Bulldogs and Coach Young for the Orioles, you want to get those victories in conference to play for an HCC title. The Orioles, they already have a football title under their belt, and right now when you take a look, Avon already a game up in the win column in the conference standings as of tonight. A game against, they beat Hamilton Southeastern. Bulldogs could get a win over the Orioles tonight. They would be 1-0, and again, everybody is playing tonight. Southeastern is at Fishers, and Noblesville is at Westfield. Only Zionsville is not playing tonight. They'll play tomorrow in a non-conference matchup at Anderson. So a lot of interesting things going on in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, but as we mentioned, all these games are big, and if somebody might be wondering why a Darian Ringo, who is coming off of a high ankle sprain, is playing tonight rather than playing against number 9 Ben Davis, while fans may consider that a bigger game, the coaching staff and, of course, these players don't. They do not play Ben Davis in the sectional. They do play Avon for an HCC title. This game for the players and the coaching staff, much more important than tomorrow night's game against Ben Davis, though Coach Lynch will tell you they're all important as we get ready for second half action. Let's quickly give you the stats here for the first half. Leading all scorers with 15 points is K.J. Walton. He had 10 points in that second quarter, and matter of fact, he was all of the scoring for the Bulldogs in that second quarter. 4 points for Landon Hall, 3 points for Tyler Kurtz, 2 points for Dalton Vachon. That's the extent of the scoring for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs from the free throw line are 2 of 3. They did hit 2 3-pointers in that first half. A little bit more balanced scoring for the Orioles, though not nearly enough for Coach Jason Young. 5 points from Jack McHugh, all in that second quarter. 3 points from Hayden Crowder, 3 points from Brandon Peters, 2 points from Jordan Peterson, and 2 points for Logan White. The Orioles are 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and they did hit 3 3-point baskets. But the story so far has been basically the Bulldogs' ability to handle Brandon Peters. They limited Peters to only a 3-point basket really to start the game, and then that's been it for the talented young man, the junior for Avon, Brandon Peters. We saw the Orioles get a couple of 3-point baskets in that first quarter. They had managed to cut the deficit down to a 2 at one point, but the Bulldogs have stretched it to as much as 9, and as we begin the second half, they will have a 7-point lead at 24-17. When we come back, second half action here from the O-Arena at Avon High School. This is Brownsburg Bulldogs basketball on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com.
You know, nothing makes you think of the future like holding it in your arms. The wonder of being a new parent includes planning your child's future, and now's the time to start looking to someone who's been there from the start. State Farm agent Pete Fay in Brownsburg can ensure your life insurance will keep pace with your family's growing financial needs. So for more information on life insurance, visit State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield Drive, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. And remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech.
Holidays are here, and that means a lot of family at your house, and well, that could mean some plumbing problems at the worst time. At Westside Plumbing, you'll get a plumber who is honest, respectful, and knows how to fix your problem. Call Westside Plumbing at 445-8399. That's 445-8399, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County. Happy holidays from Westside Plumbing.
Welcome back to the Arena at Avon High School. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott, getting ready for second half action as the Bulldogs lead the Orioles 24-17, a rather low-scoring affair. And as I mentioned, a big key for the Bulldogs has been their ability to keep the Orioles' leading scorer, Brandon Peters, pretty much at bay. Peters with only 3 points in that first half. Meanwhile, K.J. Walton, 15 points in the first half. He scored all 10 of the Bulldogs' points in that second quarter, as Avon pretty much content to stick back in that 2-3 zone, make Brownsburg do something from the perimeter, and it was really much KJ was the only one to provide any type of offense in that second quarter, but the Bulldogs have a 7-point lead as we get ready to start second half. For the Bulldogs, it'll be Tyler Kurtz, Landon Hall, Dalton Vachon, Darian Ringo, and KJ Walden. Your starting five to begin the second half, and for the Orioles, it will be Jordan Peterson, Braden Luce, Brandon Peters, Jack McHugh, and Logan White, their starting five. It's White with the basketball as the Bulldogs will start this second half working out of a zone.
You know, Coach Lynch in our pregame show talked about Brownsburg's defense. They came into this game giving up 51.4 points per game, only giving up 17 in the first half.
Logan White misses it. Let's see what they call. They'll get Brandon Peters on the touch, and quite honestly, from there, it looked like basket interference, but no call as Peters gets his second bucket, and it's a 24-19 Bulldogs advantage. Just underway, third quarter. There is a three ball on the way. Tyler Kurtz shot off the rim, no good, gets his rebound, but stolen away by Logan White of the Orioles.
Tyler came out and hit his first three-point bucket in this game. Missed that one. He had a wide open look.
Here's Logan White from the free throw line. Bounce pass. Brandon Peters from about 8 feet. That ball's no good. Gets his own rebound. Puts it up with a right hand. Shot partially blocked by Walton. And Vachon gets the rebound and hands it to Walton. Dalton there to pick up the loose ball. And the Bulldogs will have the basketball as Darian Ringo will now run the show. Goes right side to Kurtz. Back to Ringo. Left side to Hall. Three ball on the way and nailed it. Landon Hall hits his first three-point basket of the night. He has 7 points, and the lead's 27-19 for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs hit two three-point baskets in that first half. Here is McHugh's three from the near corner. There's no good. Hall with a rebound, gives it to Ringo. Darian makes a move, lays it up with a right hand and in.
What injured ankle?
Darian Ringo has his first points of the night, and it's the biggest lead of the night for the Bulldogs as it now reaches double digits at 10. 29-19 with 6:09 left to go in the third quarter.
Two good possessions there for the Dogs. Of course, the open three-pointer knocked down by Hall, and then the steal and run out to Ringo, who made a nice cut with his feet right there to get that bucket, and Brandon Peters scores.
Beautiful bounce pass from Logan White to Brandon Peters. Peters now with 7 points. 29-21 is our score. Ball is loose. White and Vachon will tie up down in the low post. Held ball will result in possession belonging to the Bulldogs. They lead 29-21 with 5:45 left to go in the third quarter.
I had Brownsburg winning the first half rebound battle 15-9.
They'll trigger the inbound. Vashon partially blocked by Peters, tapped out, and Landon Hall retrieves it. KJ gives it to Vashon. Vashon hands the ball over to Ringo, and Ringo will calmly send it back out. And now we'll get the handoff from Hall and kick it right side to Kurtz. Back between the circles, left side to Hall. Back to Ringo. Ringo gets around a screen, kicks it out. Kurtz, 3-ball from the corner, is up. It's good.
Tyler Kurtz knocked down a couple three-pointers in this game.
His second three-point basket. He has 6 points and an 11-point Bulldog advantage with 5:13. White makes a move. It will wave off the basket as the foul will occur before the shot, and if it's against Vashon, that's his third.
Coming into this game, Tyler Kurtz was 0 for 3 from three-point range, but he has 2 this game.
Vashon will leave as Jordash Mavungo returns. Vashon leaves with 3 fouls and only 2 points. Triggering the inbound are the Orioles from the baseline. They get it into the hands of Braden Luce. Luce, right side. This is Alex Fletcher, who's into the game for the first time. Fletterer with a basketball, and as he tries to kick it in the corner, it'll go off the foot of KJ Walton out of bounds, and the ball will remain in the possession of the Orioles.
Brownsburg defense was looking to trap again right there. Let's see if Avon can run some more plays to get Brandon Peters some open shots this half.
They'll throw the ball into the backcourt, now bring it back into the front court. Peterson with a basketball. Avon showing more of a 1-3-1 look on the zone. They get it to Fletterer. Back to Peterson. Double team is coming. And they will go off of Darian Ringo's foot out of bounds. And the Orioles will retain possession as it will be Braden Luce triggering the inbound from right in front of the scorer's table. He'll give it to Peterson and back to Luce as Luce brings it back into the front court. Over the top, this is Peterson as a quick run out by Hall. And again, the Bulldogs showing a 1-3-1 look. They're trapping on the corners, trying to get some action on each side. Orioles had a bit of a problem. Here's a 3-ball on its way. Peterson's 3-ball's no good. Hall getting a nice rebound, kicks it out to Walton. Walton stops, lets the rest of his teammates come back into the front court, gives it to Kurtz, back to Walton. Walton will give it to Ringo, and Ringo will reset the offense.
Boy, Hall went up strong for that rebound. Brandon Hall, for a sophomore, operates good on the defensive boards, offensive boards too. He's getting some good rebounds for the Bulldogs.
We're midway through the third quarter as a 3-ball from KJ Walton makes it a 35-21 advantage for the Bulldogs, and that will cause head coach Jason Young to call a timeout, a full timeout, with 3 minutes and 58 seconds left to go in this third quarter. The Bulldogs with their biggest lead of the night. They lead 35-21. Back after this is Bulldogs basketball on XRB and ASO.
This holiday season, let Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg help you select the perfect gift. New collections have arrived just in time for Christmas. Whether our wish list includes a new pair of earrings, a sparkling pendant, bracelet, or ring, Nelson Jewelers offers unique and affordable designs in silver, 14 and 18 karat gold and diamonds. Visit Nelson Jewelers at 22 East Main Street in Brownsburg and online at www.nelsonjewelers.com. Nelson Jewelers since 1958. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary.
Bulldogs doing something they haven't done all that well all season long. That's hit from long range. They've hit 3 3-point baskets here in this quarter, and they have extended their lead to the biggest of the night. They lead by 14, 35-21, with 3:58 left to go in the third quarter. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. Head coach Jason Young calls the timeout as he tries to regroup his offense. This Bulldogs trap has been rather befuddlesome to these Orioles. And right now they're going to be looking at a 2-2-1 trap, or 2-2-1 press off of the inbound. Logan White with the basketball. He's looking to give it to somebody, and he finally finds Braden Luce. Luce stolen is off of Walton. Walton gives it back to Kurtz. Kurtz loses it, picks it back up, finds KJ with a skip pass. KJ one-on-one against White, drives baseline, and he will put it up. Shot no good. Brandon Peters with a rebound for the Orioles. Orioles get it into the front court. Luce between the circles. Again, looking over this 1-3-1 zone. And now here's a steal.
Oh, yeah.
Darian Ringo takes it, and he'll take it to the house.
Just a poor pass there along the perimeter. You don't want to do that in front of Mr. Ringo. He'll do that every time, get the steal on the run-out bucket.
Bulldogs with very active hands in this contest. Another steal leads to another Bulldog basket. They lead 37-21 with 3:07 left to go. Here's another steal. This time Mavunga. Mavunga takes it. Nice move. Lays it up off the glass and in.
3 turnovers here in this third quarter has led to Brownsburg runouts and scores. Another timeout for Avon.
Head coach Jason Young is going to call the timeout. He just had to burn one a minute ago, and he's going to burn a 30-second timeout, his second 30-second timeout, as he has watched his team just basically hand the ball to the Bulldogs on several occasions, and the Bulldogs now lead 39-21.
This rivalry going to be back in action tomorrow night, Avon and Brownsburg. Avon girls are at Brownsburg High School to face the Bulldogs in a girls basketball game tomorrow night, 7:30.
Coach Jamie Brahman's girls team with a big win against Plainfield the other night. Christopher Worley was at that contest. And Bulldogs, Coach Brahman's Bulldogs, use your support tomorrow night at the Varsity Fieldhouse.
Another come-from-behind victory for the Lady Bulldogs. They've done that several times this year. If they get behind, watch out. They'll come back. Boy, the student bodies, both of them here. I'm proud of both these schools for turning out a good student body. This is what high school basketball on a Friday night is all about here in Central Indiana.
Bulldogs allow the Orioles bring it up front, but this 1-3-1 trap defense has just been a nightmare for the Orioles. Orioles 3-ball on the way from Peterson. That's off the side of the rim. No good. It'll go out of bounds, and the ball will belong to Brownsburg. Bulldogs lead 39-21 with 2:39 left to go in the third quarter.
And Michael Folks back in now to help out point guard duties. Give Darian a little time off from that.
Orioles have gotten 4 points. Here's Jordash Mavunga splitting the double team. Looks to get the ball out. Walton chases it down, or Ringo chases down, gives it to KJ, and KJ hits the 3 from the near corner.
KJ came into this game shooting 32% from three-point line. He's up that tonight.
He has 3 3-point baskets in the game. He now has 21 points, and the Bulldogs' advantage is 21 as down on the court is Andrew Short. He's going to be tied up. This time the possession arrow will favor the Avon Orioles.
I know these Avon students certainly want to win over Brownsburg. Brownsburg won both games between these two teams last year. They won in the regular season. I have it here somewhere. But I know they've won both games regular season and in the Hendricks County tournament they defeated Avon.
It's been a long time. The Orioles in their history have only won 2 sectionals. They have never won a regional. And while Jason Young has had some success here, it's not Avon basketball has always taken a bit of a back seat to their football program as Crowder makes a baseline move. He's cut off by Mavunga, and Mavunga is going to draw the foul.
You know, I think it was either the Hendricks County tournament or the regular season game last year. I remember in the fourth quarter, Brownsburg had a pretty good lead, and I remember the Avon student body chanting, "Let's play football, let's play football."
Mavunga leaves. Tyler Kurtz returns to the lineup. Crowder will trigger the inbounds from the baseline, and he'll get it to Logan White. White and Peters both quiet tonight. Here's a skip pass into the corner as the Orioles move it around. Here's White, lays it up, gets the bucket, and draws the foul.
Good job by Logan right there. He's so strong. He's tough. Good play, Logan White.
Foul, I believe, is going to go against Tyler Kurtz. And for Tyler, that's his second team foul, number 3. Avon yet to commit a foul here in the second half, but neither team really going to the free throw line all that often here in this game. White's free throw is good. He converts the three-point play. He has 5 points. It's a 42-24 lead, and now Avon will show a 2-2-1 press, but Bulldogs bring it into the front court as they get the ball into the hands, and a 3-ball from the corner by K.J. Walton. Walton now with his 4th three-point basket. All 3 of his baskets here. High lob to Brandon Peters. He couldn't control it, but was able to get it back up off the glass, and Peters finishes it off. He now has 9.
There we saw some of Brandon's athleticism. Of course, K.J. Walton was on the Junior All-Stars last year. He's making a strong bid to be part of the Indiana-Kentucky Senior All-Stars this season.
Jack McHugh tried to lob it up there for Peters. Peters got the ball but couldn't flush it. Just simply brought it back down, took it back up. Here's a nice move to the cup by Darian Ringo. And again, if Darian is showing any ill effects of that high ankle sprain, he has good explosion off the dribble. He took it straight to the cup. Didn't get the bucket, but he's going to draw the foul against Jack McHugh. That's his first, and the first team foul against Avon. It'll send Darian to the line.
Brownsburg athletic trainers, Chris Compton, Brady Crum, were used to them. Randy Crum doing a good job, and looks like they've taken care of Darian in his off time real well here.
Bulldogs lead 45-26 as Darian, there's a little rush showing as he leaves that free throw.
Yeah.
Real short off the front end. He just has a short little grin and looks to the sideline. Dalton Vachon back in, as well as Jimmy Sims. Now for the Orioles as K.J. Walton's going to get a breather.
Ringo came in, I'm sorry, Brian, just 2 out of 4 from the free throw line so far this year, 50%. So, of course, 2 out of 5 now.
24 points for K.J. Walton as he'll get probably this minute and 8-second breather before the fourth quarter. Darian hits the second. The Bulldogs on the night are now 3 of 5 from the free throw line. They lead by 20 at 46-26 with about a minute left. Crowder with the skip pass. Nice touch pass to White. White in the lane, and he gets the bucket. He goes through 3 Bulldogs, gets it to roll off the rim and falls through the bucket, and he'll go to the line to try for the three-point play.
Logan White doing a fantastic job here tonight. Came in averaging 8.8 points a game. So what do you have him for, Brian? He's got 10 maybe?
Well, right now he's got 7.
Okay.
He can make it 8 with a free throw. For Dalton Vachon, that's his 4th. And White hits the three-point play. Take it back. He has 10 points. He had 4 in the first half, so he does now have a double with 10.
Having a very good game. So strong, Logan White. Good pass.
There's a good pass. They leave Vachon. Vachon from 6 feet can't get it to drop. And finally, Crowder gets the rebound for Avon with 34 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Bulldogs well out in front, 46-29. In the lane, driving, no shot as the whistle occurred before the attempt by Logan White as Andrew Short cutting through the lane. He's going to be hit with the bucket, and the foul is going to go against Michael Foltz, his first, team foul number 5. And Ringo almost with a steal. They get it in the corner. Crowder's 3 from the far corner is up, and it is good as Hayden Crowder has his second bucket. It's also a 3, and it makes it a 46-32 game. 11 seconds left in the quarter. Here is Ringo. Gets the ball into Folks' hands. Folks pull-up jumper from the left elbow is good.
Michael Folks, a good shot.
Folks with his first bucket of the night, and as the buzzer sounds to end the third quarter, the Bulldogs enjoy a 48-32 advantage as we head to quarter number 4. Bulldogs out in front. Back with the fourth quarter right after this. This is Bulldogs basketball on XRB and Audio Sports Online.
If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated will take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech.
The Bulldogs outscore the Orioles 24-15 in that third quarter. They led by as much as 21. They lead 48-32 as we begin the fourth and final quarter here at the O-Arena. Dario Ringo with the ball as the Bulldogs have the ball to begin this quarter. Pullback jumper is up and good by K.J. Walton.
Boy, K.J. hit those three-pointers, 3 of them in that third quarter, starts out the fourth with a bucket.
K.J. now with 26 points as a whistle and a foul is going to be called against the Bulldogs.
Boy, the Avon Orioles have asked Andrew Short to use his speed here to try and get inside and go coast to coast several times into the Brownsburg lane. He's drawn fouls several times.
Jordash Mavunga with his second, team foul number 6. So Avon shooting free throws the rest of the way is at the line for the Orioles is Andrew Short. He hits gets his first point of the night from the free throw line. He'll have one more. Second free throw is up and good. Only person in foul trouble for either team is Dalton Bashan with 4. Avon, as we begin the fourth quarter, has committed only one team foul. The next team foul by the Orioles, or the Bulldogs, will put the Orioles at the line. Jordash Mavunga is able to work against Logan White, get him up in the air, and Mavunga will draw the foul.
Jordash has a big motor, plays hard with energy, gets a lot of rebounds. He came into this game, he played those first 4 games or so, and Jordash had averaged 8.6, second leading scorer on the team coming into this game.
A credit to the foul against Hayden Crowder, not Logan White. That's Crowder's first, and Jordash's first free throw is no good.
Came into this game a 78% shooter from the line, Jordash Mavunga.
Second free throw rattles around and drops. Mavunga with 3 points. A 51-34 Bulldog advantage with 7:22 left to play. Bulldogs again in that 1-3-1. 3-ball from Crowder in the corner is up and good. Hayden Crowder has made 3 baskets, all of them from long range. He has 9 points.
Showed some good range in this game. That's something Avon can look forward to in the future. Mr. Crowder shooting those threes.
Here's Mavunga on a nice feed from Ringo. Steps around, makes the 6-footer.
Big bucket by Jordash. Of course, if you're Brownsburg, you want to keep scoring. Keep the foot on the gas pedal here. Avon kids, they know they can hit some threes. They've got to keep on the pressure here.
They again have done a fantastic job against Brandon Peters. Peters averaging 25 points per game, but so far through the first 3 quarters, he has only 9.
And he's showing a little frustration there as far as his body language, Mr. Peters is.
Jordash Mavunga will leave. Landon Hall re-enters the lineup for the Bulldogs. It will be Avon taking it out in front of their bench. They get it to Peters. Peters, left side to Crowder. He just hit a 3. Double team comes, and now it's thrown away. Crowder was looking to catch Andrew Short over on the far wing, but Short was cutting through the lane. The ball goes out of bounds. The turnover will give it to the Bulldogs.
4 turnovers for Avon this half against just 1 for Brownsburg. Now it's an unofficial total by me, but I think it's pretty accurate.
53-37, the Bulldogs with the lead. Here is Darian Ringo. He drives, kicks it out. 14-footer is up and good by Tyler Kurtz, and then after the bucket, a whistle. Credit Kurtz with the basket. Basket is good, and then we'll have a foul afterwards.
Well, I tell you, Brian, you can see Darren Ringo, he is so glad to be back on the court. He's playing with a joy and an enthusiasm. He is just really glad to be back in action for the Brownsburg Bulldogs.
The foul went against Brandon Peters after the bucket, so that gives the ball right back to Brownsburg, leading 55-37, an 18-point lead. Bulldogs have led by as much as 21. 6:20 left to play. Baseline drive, reverse layup, up and good. Darian Ringo has had some great explosiveness tonight. Again, if there's any hint of that ankle injury, we haven't seen it. Here's Peters for 3. That's no good. Rebounded by Folks. Folks bounce pass, lays it up, gives it to Walton. It was Folks to Ringo to Walton for the flush. As we have a whistle the other way as K.J. Walton on some good ball handling. Folks got it, left it off for Darian. Darian left it to K.J. K.J. flushed it with 2 hands. And coming back the other way, we're going to have a whistle and foul called against KJ. That's his first, but it is the 7th team foul against the Bulldogs.
I think that's 3 or 4 breakaway slams now for Mr. Walton in this game.
Brandon Peters will be at the line for the first time tonight. Peters with 9 points, and he's at the line shooting the 1-on-1.
Wish TV Channel 8 had their zone crew here tonight for local news coverage. Hopefully they stayed around long enough to see or get one of those KJ breakaway slams.
One thing the Orioles have done well tonight, they have shot the ball from the free throw line. They are now 8 of 8 from the charity stripe as Peters hits both. He now has 11 points, but it's a 20-point Bulldog lead with 5:51 left to go in the ball game.
Of course, they can afford to run some clock here.
Folks right side to Darian. Darian down the left side of the lane. They leave him open, but the layup's no good. Peters with a rebound. Here comes Avon the other way, and they get it in the corner. Crowder's 3 is on the way. That's short. Rebound controlled by Peterson of Avon. And now Peterson's going to be fouled as he was trying to get the ball out to Andrew Short, and the foul will go against the Bulldogs. Darian Ringo will be hit with his second personal. It's the 8th team foul against Brownsburg. At the line for the Orioles, Jordan Peterson. Peterson with only 2 points. This is his first trip to the line.
You know, just coming back, you would think Darian would be winded, but he is not over there. He sat out on the bench. I don't see any heavy breathing at all. Of course, Brownsburg does a lot of conditioning work to get those kids in shape.
Peterson's first free throw is good, though. It's very difficult to get any type of conditioning on a high ankle sprain.
Yeah,
so
I don't know how he did it. Looks fine to me.
But Darian with a very impressive effort here tonight. Second free throw by Peterson is good, and Avon continues their perfect streak from the free throw line, but they'll need a whole lot more points if they hope to get back into this game. They trail 59-41 with 5:22. Driving, right side, KJ, bucket, and the foul.
And that's on Brandon Peters. He's frustrated trying to deal with Mr. Walton there on the drive.
6 points so far in this quarter, and it is 30 points now for KJ Walton, as Walton is now at the line to see if he can convert the three-point play.
You know, Walton did that a lot last year. Of course, he loved to drive to the bucket, but now here in his senior year, he's even gotten better at it. He's gotten bigger, stronger, more athletic.
Walton, gets the three-point play as Peters picked up foul number 3, 14th foul against Avon. 62-41, the Bulldogs lead. Short right side gives it to Peterson. Peterson picks up his dribble, finds Brandon Peters. Peters harassed by Michael Folks, but gets it to Short to Crowder. Crowder, nice ball fake. Finds Logan White, step up, turnaround jumper, up and good with the left hand, and Logan White's going to earn a trip to the free throw line after the foul.
Logan White, the best player on the floor for Avon tonight. He's done a fantastic job. He has gone right in there with that big size and that big strength, played well for Avon tonight.
Jimmy Sims with his first personal, as Dalton Vachon will check in for Landon Hall. Vachon, 2 points, but he does have 4 personal fouls. Logan White is at the line. He has 12 points tonight, 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. 4:56 left to go in the basketball game. White's free throw is good, and that makes it a 62-44 Bulldogs lead, and they'll have the basketball as Michael Folks will bring it into the front court. Left side gives it to KJ. KJ, harassed, gives it to Vachon. They swing it around right side. Mavunga drives in the lane, and a whistle will stop play as Mavunga kicked it out. Had he continued through the hole, they might have put him on the line, but instead this one's going to be side out. It will go against Brandon Peters, and Peters, who only had 1 foul after the first half, now has 4.
Brownsburg has continued their scoring. After scoring 24 points in the third quarter, they have 14 points so far here in the fourth with 4:44 left to go in this contest.
Peters will leave. Jack McHugh will return to the lineup for head coach Jason Young. And the Bulldogs will take it out as Michael Folks will trigger the inbound from the baseline. He finds Jimmy Sims, and we have a whistle.
Yeah, we got a hold on Logan.
And away from the basketball, Logan White and Dalton Vachon were fighting for positioning, and they're going to get White with the personal. That's his second. Team foul number 6. So the next foul by the Avon will put the Bulldogs at the line. Bulldogs have committed 19 fouls so far. Folks will trigger the inbound from the baseline, get it into Mavunga, and Mavunga with a tough shot. Gets it off the glass and goes.
Well, they got those 2 guys back this week. Mavunga and Ringo both have had solid ball games.
And this time Short trying to feed Logan White. White couldn't handle the pass. It goes out of bounds. Another turnover gives the ball back to the Bulldogs. Mavunga will depart as I believe it will be Chapman, Adrian Chapman, now into the lineup for Coach Steve Lynch's Bulldogs. 64-44, Brownsburg with the lead. 4:27 left to go fourth quarter. Sims with the basketball at the right wing, gives it to Vachon, to Chapman. Right side over to Folks. As Folks gives it to Sims. Sims drives left side of the lane, lays it up off the glass. Tough looking shot by Jimmy Sims. He gets his first bucket of the night.
Wow.
As we approach the midway point of the fourth quarter, driving left side of the lane is Andrew Short. And a whistle will stop play as Short's going to earn 2 free throws. Either way, it is the 10th team foul against the Bulldogs. But for Dalton Vachon, that's foul number 5, and Dalton will check out of this game with only 2 points.
Not the best of games for Dalton, but good effort there by the big guy.
Dalton just seemingly couldn't stay on the floor without committing a personal, and he leaves, and Jordash Mavunga returns. Meanwhile, Andrew Short is at the line. He has 2 points, both of them from the free throw line, and He'll be shooting 2 here. 66-44. Bulldogs with the lead. Short's free throw, no good. It is a double bonus is in effect, so he will get one more. Everybody jumping in thinking it was a one-on-one, but it was the team foul against the Bulldogs. That is the first miss tonight from the free throw line as head coach Steve Lynch is going to call a timeout. He will call a full timeout, so we will take a timeout as well. 4 minutes, 4 seconds remain in this contest. All Brownsburg. They lead the Avon Orioles 66-44. Back after these messages is Bulldogs basketball on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com.
This holiday season, let Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg help you select the perfect gift. New collections have arrived just in time for Christmas. Whether her wish list includes a new pair of earrings, a sparkling pendant, bracelet, or ring, Nelson Jewelers offers unique and affordable designs in silver, 14 and 18 karat gold, and diamonds. Visit Nelson Jewelers at 22 East Main Street in Brownsburg and online at www.nelsonjewelers.com. Nelson Jewelers since 1958. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary. Holidays are here.
Bulldogs lead the Orioles by the score 66-44. We're 4 seconds away from the midway point here of this fourth quarter. Coach Steve Lynch calls a timeout as Andrew Short will be at the line for his second free throw. He missed his first. That's the first miss for the Orioles from the line. He gets that one to hit front iron and roll in. He has 3 points, all from the free throw line, but the Bulldogs' advantage is 21 as we hit the 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. All Bulldogs tonight as they have played very, very good defense, and they have been getting the shots to drop here in this contest, especially from the perimeter, but it's really been Darian Ringo whose return tonight has obviously been a big spark for this Bulldogs team.
Really has, Brian, and we're both still surprised. I guess if you're going to have an injury like that to your point guard, it's nice to do it early in the season. Michael Folks came in as a backup, got a lot of playing time, gave him some confidence as Jordash goes to the hoop.
And they're going to call a player control foul against Mavunga. Bulldogs working a little inside-outside with Chapman and Mavunga. Mavunga will be called for the player control foul. That's his third, and Logan White will check out for the Orioles, and Braden Luce will return. 66-45, all Bulldogs here with 3:25 left to go in this fourth quarter of play. Bulldogs will be on the road tomorrow night at Ben Davis to take on the 9th-ranked Giants, and now
stepped out of bounds.
Making a move was Jack McHugh baseline, and that foot hit the end line, and the turnover once again. An unforced turnover, and that has also been a problem as well as the Bulldogs' defensive play. We've seen some unforced errors by the Orioles tonight. There's another one as the Bulldogs get the ball into the front court. Michael Folks with the basketball.
I'm sure at halftime Brownsburg coaches said, take care of the ball. I have only one turnover for Brownsburg in the second half.
And Avon now into a man-to-man. They've been zoned for a good part of this basketball game as Darian Ringo gives the ball up to KJ. KJ that was Adrian Chapman, but KJ Walton with 31 points in this contest. Mavunga right side. Bulldogs playing off, patient but driving. Baseline, no good. Folks gets his own rebound and puts it up and in. Jimmy Sims got the rebound and put it up and in. Jimmy with now 4 points. A 68-45 Bulldog lead.
Nice drive by Folks. Jimmy there to follow.
Peterson gives up to McHugh. McHugh finds Crowder. Left elbow is up and good. Hayden Crowder gets the bucket for Crowder. He now has 11 points.
Crowder's had a good game for Avon. He found the open spot there in that pressing, trapping defense. Brownsburg still trapping on defense here at this late point.
There's a nice feed inside to Mavunga. Is a nice feed by Adrian Chapman to Jordash Mavunga. Mavunga gets the bucket. Mavunga now with 9 points, and the lead is 23. Here's the 3-ball on the way. Jordan Peterson shot no good. Ball tapped out, but controlled by Adrian Chapman. He will find Michael Folks. 1:41 left to go. Bulldogs up 70-47. Folks will take it down the right side of the lane all by himself, and he will take the easy layup. Folks now with 4 points, and will come the other way, and getting the bucket was Andrew Short. He gets the hoop, and he'll go to the line.
Well, Andrew Short again just takes off down in the middle of the floor, charges to the hoop and draws another foul. Andrew Short, good speed, been a little spark plug here for Avon, but just not enough to overcome these Brownsburg Bulldogs here tonight.
Well, now both coaches emptying their benches into the game now for the Bulldogs. Will Kesterson, Aaron Head has now made an appearance. Adrian Chapman, Jimmy Sims is out there. Also Jakar Boone. Short converts the three-point play. But it's a 72-50 Bulldog advantage for Coach Jason Young. Alec Flederer is out there. He is joined by Braden Luce, Ryan Dickinson, also by Kazan Pearson and Andrew Short. Minute 10 left, 3 ball on the way. Jimmy Sims missed everything. But there does Sky get the loose ball and tap it over to Andrew Head by a nice play by Jimmy Sims.
Aaron Head gets a follow-up basket.
Short leaves it off as we are under a minute left to play. Andrew Short drives, lays it off, partially blocked by Jimmy Sims. Kesterson with a rebound. He'll give it back to Sims. Sims up to Head, left wing. Cutting through the lane is Chapman. Turnaround right hand leaner is no good. Dickinson with a rebound for the Orioles. 37 seconds remain. Bulldogs will improve to 5-1 on the season as the Orioles will drop to 2-3. Under 30 seconds left. 74-50 is the score. Short, nice bounce pass to Dickinson. He'll put it up between a couple of Bulldogs. Shot no good. And getting the loose ball was Kazan Pearson, and his putback is partially blocked, but he's going to earn a trip to the free throw line.
We've got to say Andrew Short sure has played with a lot of heart and hustle for Avon tonight. A good assist on that attempted basket. Free throws for Avon here.
Short had no points through 3 quarters. He has 6 in the fourth, though 4 of those are from the free throw line, as Pearson's free throw is no good. As we have Imani Travis now into the game.
So the Avon fans, of course, heading to the exit here. Brownsburg student body starting to celebrate.
Second free throw by Pearson is good. His first points of the night. 74-51 as the Bulldogs will just look to get in the front court and see if Avon elects to foul. Bounce pass in the lane. It's lost, and it will go out of bounds as the Bulldogs can't hold on to the basketball. And with 6.7 seconds remaining and a 74-51 lead for the Bulldogs, Avon will have the basketball as they will bring it up, and Short will take it at the center jump circle. Drives through the lane, leaves it off for Dickinson. Dickinson's shot goes up, rims out. Pearson's putback is no good. The buzzer sounds, and that's the end of the ball game. Final score, Bulldogs defeat Avon 74-51. When we come back, Chris and I will have some final thoughts and our final stats of the game. It's Bulldogs basketball on 1610 AM XRB and audiosportsonline.com.
When you're trying to promote your website, the internet can sometimes seem like a hit-and-miss situation. There's search engine optimization, keywords, and don't forget your social media. At Internet Tech Specialists, they understand these things and can make a difference in your worldwide web presence. Go to internettechspecialist.com for more information or look for their banner on the XRB website. Internet Tech Specialist, your full-service IT strategist. You know, nothing makes you think of the future like holding it in your arms. The wonder of being a new parent includes planning your child's future, and now's the time to start looking to someone who's been there from the start. State Farm agent Pete Fay in Brownsburg can ensure your life insurance will keep pace with your family's growing financial needs. So for more information on life insurance, visit State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield Drive, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. And remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. If you're a business owner, with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech.
Holidays are here, and that means a lot of family at your house, and well, that could mean some plumbing problems at the worst time. At Westside Plumbing, you'll get a plumber who is honest, respectful, and knows how to fix your problem. Call Westside Plumbing at 445-8399. That's 445-8399, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County. Happy holidays from Westside Plumbing.
Back at the O-Arena at Avon High School, where the Brownsburg Bulldogs, ranked 8th this week in Class 4A, have no problems winning their first Hoosier Crossroads Conference matchup of the season. They knock off Avon by the score of 74-51. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. Bulldogs led 14-10 after the first quarter, and then a really, really stubborn defense that befuddled the Orioles all night long. Avon used a series of traps and impressive defense really to force Avon into quite a few turnovers, a lot of good steals, good hands defense by Avon, and eventually their perimeter shot finally fell tonight. It was something that we hadn't seen the Bulldogs do a whole lot this season. They hit 6 3-pointers on the night. This hasn't been a very good three-point shooting team, but they did well tonight, hitting 6 from beyond the arc, and in the end, they just proved to be too much for Avon to handle in tonight's contest. Let's give you our final scores. For the Bulldogs, leading all scorers with 31 points was K.J. Walton. He was the only Bulldog to score in double figures, but for the first time, we see a little more balanced scoring from Coach Steve Lynch's offense. Jordash Mavunga finished with 9 points. Tyler Kurtz finished with 8 points. Darian Ringo had 7 points, and don't let the points fool you. He was awesome tonight. Showed great explosiveness off the dribble, good moves to the hole, and really ran the offense well. He finished the game with 7 points. Also tonight, 4 points each from Michael Folks and Jimmy Sims. 3 points from Landon Hall. Dalton Machon and Aaron Head both had 2 points each. And Adrian Chapman, Will Kesterson, and Jakar Poon played. They did not score. For Dalton Machon, it was kind of a tough night. He just simply couldn't stay on the floor without picking up a foul, and he finishes the game with only 2 points. Bulldogs didn't really shoot a whole lot of free throws. They were 3 of 6 from the charity stripe in the game, and as I mentioned, they hit 6 3-point baskets. For the Avon Orioles, leading scorer with 13 points was Logan White. They had 3 players score in double figures, but Brandon Peters was kept down from his season average of over 25 points. He only scored 11 points in tonight's contest. Hayden Crowder finished the game with 11 points. It was 6 points for Andrew Short, 5 points for Jack McHugh, 4 points from Jordan Peterson, 1 point from Kazan Person, and playing but not scoring were Alec Fletterer, Braden Luce, Ryan Dickinson, and Amoni Travis. The Orioles didn't shoot a whole lot of free throws until that fourth quarter. They did very well. They shot 10 of 12 from the line in that fourth quarter. 10 of their 19 points came from the free throw line. And on as a whole, Orioles did a pretty good job from the line. They were 14 of 16. They did hit 5 3-pointers, but Chris, this game really came down to, K.J. Walton scoring the points, and really the Bulldogs' defense forcing a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, defense was excellent. And then look at that second half scoring, too. Third quarter, they had 24 points. Even scored more in the fourth quarter, 26, for a total of 50 points in the second half for Brownsburg. Here's 2 things we've seen out of Coach Lynch's tenure here at Brownsburg that showed up in this game tonight. One, they make good adjustments at halftime, and they're able to score the ball and take care of the ball. They only had a couple turnovers in that second half. They do a great job after halftime. And then they are true road warriors. Last year, undefeated on the road, 9-0. This year, so far, 2-1. Of course, 2 of those games were in the same place down at Southport this year. But this was a road game, of course, at Avon. So in Coach Lynch's tenure, 11-1 on the road.
Bulldogs led 14-10 after the first quarter. They led 24-17 at the half. They led 48-32 at the end of 3 quarters. They finished the game outscoring the Orioles 26-19 in the fourth and final quarter. They win this game 74-51. For the Bulldogs, they improve to 5-1 overall. They are now 1-0 in Hoosier Crossroads Conference play. The Avon Orioles under head coach Jason Young now 2-3 on the season. They've lost 3 straight. They are now 1-1 in Hoosier Crossroads Conference action. Bulldogs' next game will be tomorrow night. That game will be at Ben Davis. We will not have that game for you here on Audio Sports Online. Our next broadcast here on 1610 AM XRB and Audio Sports Online will be in the new year as the Bulldogs will host the Frankfurt Hot Dogs. That's a team Bulldogs haven't seen all that often. Hot Dogs coming to the Varsity Fieldhouse. We'll have that game for you at the beginning of 2015. That's January 2nd. Pregame show will be at 7:15, and the tip-off is at 7:30. I want to thank my broadcast partner, Christopher Worley. Thanks Shane Ray back at the 1610 AM XRB studios. Rob Kendall back at the ASO Mothership, and thank you for joining us for tonight's game. Bulldogs get the victory over Avon 74-51. For Chris Worley, this is Brian Scott wishing everybody a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2015. The Bulldogs with the victory tonight. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to Brownsburg Varsity Basketball on 1610 AM XRB and AudioSportsOnline.com. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Nelson Jewelers, Ivy Tech, West Side Plumbing, the Payroll Department, State Farm Agent Pete Fay, and Internet Tech Specialists. You can catch a free on-demand replay of tonight's game by visiting www.audiosportsonline.com. Bulldog Basketball on XRB and ASO is an AudioSportsOnline.com production.